Hello, welcome to McBoss Capital channel. My name is Michael Chu. This is for my growth stocks list video that for the week ending July 18, 2025. We had a pretty good week overall. We had one distribution day here on Nasdaq, I believe, on Tuesday, and Wednesday we did have also kind of a bounce day, like a reversal day, I believe. And then, yeah, and then the rest of the week was pretty good. Like overall, we see accumulation, on Monday, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, we saw some distribution, but by Thursday, Friday, we bounced back. So overall, it's still healthy. Industry groups actually came down a bit by Friday, so there's definitely some areas that are getting hit. On the sector side, we see technology stocks kind of went positive. This is net accumulations, stocks under accumulation minus stocks under distribution. So we have a net positive here. So technology doing pretty good. Financials also came back as well. But other areas like health did the worst this week, and retail industrials are almost neutral. So on my growth stock list, which we'll see in a moment, we have about 370 stocks here, and out of those, currently 36% are in uptrend, and the rest 64% are either within 1% of the moving average, short-term moving average, or they're below it. And so again, very similar to where we end last week, which is not a good thing because we had a good week, but yet the market, it looks like most growth stocks are kind of just not moving no more, or they're like I said, they're moving down further. So we still have some stocks moving up, so that's the good thing. We have 52 stocks hitting new recent high here by Friday, so there's still some potentials, right? Obviously, there's still some stocks in uptrend, so there's still potentials to make money there. But it's just that the net is now not catching as many fish. Let's put it that way. So it's a little bit harder now to make money unless you are in one of those uptrend stocks right now. So with that being said, let's jump to the list here. Looking at this list here. If you haven't seen this before, this is the ranking based on performance here from April 7. So we are pretty long in the rally. In my main market video, we talk about now is the 15 weeks rally now since April 7, 15 weeks. And, CISO has given up. It looks pretty bad. So here's CISO, very powerful stock here. I missed most of this run because the main reason is because it wasn't on my list. Due to the earnings wasn't updated. But once it was updated and looks pretty good, I start getting in right here. So green mark is where I got in or add position, and pink marks are where I usually sell some positions. And as it moves up here, I definitely had sell some more here, and yeah, overall. It came down really fast. I think in 5 sessions it came down, I don't know, almost 30%. The problem right now is it's trying to bounce back right here, but this is where the 10 and 21 day looks right now. Like the slope is actually steeper, something like this. Yeah, something like this. This is probably more of where the 10 and 21 kind of slope. If you average that out, probably around there. The problem is we found resistance yesterday. Like we came to that trend line and it just couldn't surpass it at all. Like it just fell, closed at the bottom. And then today you see it has no power to move. Like it's trying to move, but it just couldn't. And right now, if you draw a trend line across the Thursday high and the previous high right here, you have this really steep downtrend line, which is scary because if it continue to be under this downtrend line, I mean, it's going to correct a lot. So this stock is known for that because if you study the past here, you can have big gains, but it gives up. Here it gives up more than 50%, like easily. Actually, by here it gave up even more, like this. 79, 24. I mean, it's a huge correction. So if your stock showing topping signs, like especially when you see very volatile movement near the top, like this, you have two of the widest day range, right, at the top here. And then if it really give up the 10-day right there, like it crashed the 21-day, and then the next day, usually if it crashed below a moving average, make sure the next day it bounces right away. If it doesn't bounce, I mean, you gotta cut it, because unless you're keeping this for the long term, but like short term, we have no idea how far this will go. And then even here, this is probably another signal that if you haven't got out, I don't know. I mean, you don't know the future. It could always bounce back. But I'm just saying, based on evidence right now, it's just not. There's just no upward momentum. We look at rank number 2 stock, Iron, financial service specialty area. This stock is quite impressive. It ran up right here, and it hasn't wanted to cross the 10-day once. It didn't even touch it, and it's going sideways movement. And today it might have made a new intraday high, but it didn't close there though. But overall, like you can see the volume of blue here, very significant accumulation. And you see those ends are on IBD charts are where we see really strong volume buying after a certain uptrend here. So that is quite amazing. Like I said, it could have easily come back down, but it hasn't. It just doesn't want to, and it's been proven that many days. So the 10-day has finally caught up right here. So we do usually you want to see a bounce, very soon, because if it doesn't, then people will start to think we'll give up, right? So let's see how that goes. Symbolic is in the industrial area, machinery. Another beautiful stock. Right here was my entry point. I never got a chance to add it because it was really strong. It was always extended. And this was the last time I pulled back here, but I haven't been chasing any stocks for over a week now, so I didn't buy back in here. And they still continue to make new high. So very powerful. Yeah. Here's McKnight, pulled back recently, bouncing. So, it's okay. Usually I like to see it make new high by now on the bounce, but it hasn't, so that's the only negative there. So here's Credo, very strong leader from the bottom here, very strong trend line at the bottom, kind of aligned pretty well with the pink line. Now the last few days doesn't show very good action, and it also closed near, at 32% bottom range. So generally under half or even a little bit more than half is not a good range. So, and volume is increased obviously too, right, as it cut this. So now it's just sitting at the 21-day. Can it find support here? Again, when it crosses a moving average or comes to a moving average, not only do you want to see a rebound, but you want to see a decisive rebound, not just like a little bit of rebound, right? So we'll watch next week what happened with this. Next we have Life, ranked number 7 here. So Life was having a hard time around this area. It was trying to come up many times, it just couldn't. And finally it did one more pullback, and right here, this bounce right here, very strong bounce, breakout, and after the breakout it followed through. So in 5 sessions now it has moved quite a bit. So that's the good thing. It's like if you did catch that breakout, it moved really fast. So CLS is kind of taking a pause right now, moving sideways mostly. Hasn't undercut the lows here, but it did come down below the 10-day as it caught up. But so far it's able to hold the 10-day. Next we have ALGM. This is another strong semiconductor stock here, but it broke this trend line. So so again here we broke it, but the next day we bounced back to the 10-day. And then finally, the day after, we came back above it. So far, this bounce look okay. Now, if you draw the channel line, it's still pretty steep. It's like, under 45-degree angle, still probably like 40-degree angle. So it's still potentially, this is still under a downtrend line. So just be mindful of that. So ranked number 10 here, we have SoFi making new high, SMTC making new high, KRMN making new high. So SoFi very strong. This is probably the strongest financial stock right now on my list. But it did reverse though. So that's the only negative thing today. Let's see, SMTC, another semiconductor. Again, semiconductors are doing really well. In the main market video, if you haven't watched that, I cover AVGO, Broadcom, AVGO, NVDA, and Taiwan Semiconductor. Those are the mega caps. Here are SMTC here. Again, it broke out right there on Thursday, and it just followed through. Very powerful move right now. KRMN also had a pullback recently here, and it started to come back above the 10-day, and then huge bounce on Wednesday, and followed through Thursday. Friday, it made new high, but it gave back very quickly. But you know, it's usually when stocks are extended, they usually pull back a little bit. So we'll see how this continues. Next, we have recent IPO Circle, very strong performer as well. Nice IPO move right there, and then it started to consolidate. And this consolidation looks pretty good because it just start moving to the right and moving higher lows, right? Then we broke out right here on Wednesday, very powerful move. That day, it was 19% gain. Thursday, it continued slightly higher. Friday, make a new high before reversing. So again, very hard to chase stocks, right? Not even just for longer term, but even short term. If you try to chase it, you know, you down today because it reversed quite a bit. So depending on where you bought it today, you're down. You could be down. So yeah, so just always like, you know, try not to buy too extended. That's my philosophy. If you have to buy extended, make sure it's, you know, one of the top leaders that are performing really well right now, and manage your risk, of course. We have Upstart here. Recent pullback, able to bounce back, you know, looks pretty good. You know, we're still under the previous high, but at least it's above the 45-degree angle downtrend line, so that's a good thing. Corona hasn't really done much. It bounced recently, but since then it's just going sideways. So this one is also just not doing much, and I think that's the thing. If the stock's not doing much and earnings coming up, I think it's time to be a little bit more cautious. Here's VRT. VRT has a huge shakeout right here. It has been bouncing back since, making new high as well. So looks very positive. Friday did give back most of the gains from Thursday, so that's not good. So yeah, again, some stocks are quite volatile right now. So XTX, computer data storage, another superstar here. It's been obeying the 10-day very good until this point. So I'll say this, but again, I don't want to sound like I know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. But here's the thing. When stocks obey the 10-day for a long time, and they break it pretty hard, and I consider this to be a pretty hard break, because the day before it was at the 10-day, and then the next day it decisively closed lower. A lot of time, it will bounce back. And when it does bounce back, even after a decisive breakdown, watch how it moves, because that's very important. So far, to me, this move, even though it bounced back, it hasn't made a lot of progress. Why? Because we are still at the 10-day. And, you know, when I say I want to see progress, is I should see it bounce and come back to the previous high pretty fast. But look at how many sessions, like since the day it cut below. We've been 7 sessions that it couldn't recover or even come close to the previous high. So to me, that is very negative, right? So anyhow, again, I'm not saying it can break out again and go higher, but those are the things that are more negative. You know, I'll be a little bit more cautious. Now, if it does bounce back above this and you think this market can go higher, then yeah, go for it. But at this moment, even without looking at the market, just the stock itself, I feel like there's lots of risk here. Anyhow, and then a stock related to that area. Also, this is I don't know why, because for a while STX and NU were moving side by side, and this is a good example of that too. It was moving along the 10-day, and then in this case it didn't really break that hard, right? It didn't close at the bottom right here when they broke the 10-day. Instead, it closed at the 10-day. Then it went sideways really, right? And then finally this day right here, this day. So that was Tuesday, I believe. Monday. It decisively came below the 10 and 21 day. And so then the next day it bounced back to the 10 day. But again, you see the momentum are losing its momentum here. So a lot of times when the stock top, even when the market index top, it's not straight down, right? Like you're not gonna see like 5-10 days straight down. It's gonna incrementally come, like it's kind of like how they say, like, oh, you take 2 steps down but you come back 1 step, you know, and then you take 2 steps down, you came back 1 step. And that's what I'm seeing in some of these stocks, right? They're not topping hard, like just fall off the cliff, unless CISO is one of them, but not many stocks are doing that. Most of them are doing the steps, you know, side kind of 2 steps down, 1 step up kind of thing. And this is a good example of that. Eventually they could come down really fast once everyone starts to give up, right? And usually that line is 50-day because institutions concentrate on 50-day. They look at what happened during the 50-day, and that's another thing. If your stock is down to the 50-day, watch how it reacts. Again, every time it comes to a big moving average, watch how it reacts. If it stay, especially like 50-day, like some people will give it a week, you know, to see if it can come back up. So everyone has their own rule, so you can decide. But I usually don't even wait till 50 days, so I don't even have much comment about that because that's just not the way I trade. If I go down to 50 day, I give back a lot, and that's not my style of trading. So yeah, it's a very choppy stock. Hillside HSAI in the original equipment for the auto industry or truck industry. This one came down pretty hard on Wednesday, Thursday. Came down to a 50-day. So watch the bounce. It did bounce, so that's good. But we're still in a very steep slope right now. So we could still be in this downtrend. So next we have rank 19, 20, Palantir and Bumble. After that, 21, 22, we have Light and RCL. So Palantir was able to cross around $148 here, the previous high. It's been making smaller, like it's not a fast mover right now, but it is making good progress. Slow progress, but good. $153 right now. It made a new high on Thursday and Friday. Pretty reasonable drop. Didn't give back much at all. So this chart right here is RCL Royal Caribbean. Looks very similar to Iron Financial Specialty stock. It came up really strong, and then instead of coming down to the 10-day, look at it. It never touched the 10-day, and the volume accumulation is very high around this area here, and hence you see all the ants. I have liquidated quite a bit of positions now, but it's still going. It's still going. So rank 23 we have Coherent, still in uptrend. Arlo is kind of going downtrend. CRS in uptrend. JBL in uptrend. AVGO, Broadcom, Affirm, MYRG, HIMS within 1% of moving average. So it's very important to study how a stock break out, but it's also important to study how a stock break down. So this one had a nice breakout right here. I bought in that day, and it went up really nicely. Like it only took like 6 sessions to reach 20-25% gain. And then after that, it's starting to lose momentum. And here's the first sell, my second sell right there, and I got out today, pretty much the remaining position because it dropped below 10-day. Yeah, and really high volume too. So we'll see again when you cross a moving average on strong volume, especially watch what happened the next day, right? And see if it can come back above the 10-day. And even sometimes I told you, like, even if it comes back across 10-day, you know, make sure the slope of the downtrend line is not as steep, because that just means it doesn't you haven't given it enough time to test it. Of course, you could have a V-shaped rebound very fast and go back to new high. So, I mean, there's always different probabilities. Next, we have 32 NVDA. We covered that in the main market video. SITM still in uptrend. Dell, rank 34, making new high. So today it broke out right here, very strong. It pulled back recently, but I don't know if there's news today because this is a pretty good move, almost 6%. So there's CVI in the downtrend right now, AEIS still in uptrend, FN making new highs right now, looking pretty sharp. So this one recently pulled back. So here's where I got in, and then I got shaken out here. I haven't bought back in, as I mentioned earlier. I haven't been trading in the last week into any new positions. Partly because I just feel like market is too extended at this point, and I just have no more clue like how many stocks will keep continuing and when they're going to start to break down. So yes, I can chase them and make another 5-10% or whatever, but I can also get caught and lose easily 5-10%. So or even more if I didn't manage my risk well. So that's where I am right now. I rather wait for better opportunities. And there's lots of stocks, as we go down the list, we're going to see more stocks in downtrend, and watch for those to pick back up. And maybe those are better entry points than the ones that are really extended. And with earnings season coming up, we have no clue whether we're going to see, for example, ASML, which reported, and this stock not on my list, but I'm just using that as an example, how it just broke down very fast. So again, if you're going through earnings, this kind of things could happen, and we have no idea how many of the stocks we're going to do this. We covered Netflix in the main market video, very similar, strong earnings guidance, but still fall, right? So so those are the things that's the reason why I'm staying out of this market right now, in pretty much most of it. Next we have SEI, Shack. Again, these two have turned down. Air is still doing really well. Air reported, and I'll mention this right now because it was a really strong reaction to the earnings. So this stock hasn't done anything for a long time until recently. So this is in the defense area, and this is a long base. So this is definitely on my watch list now. Again, I'm not going to buy this because it's too extended at this moment, but it will be on my watch list going forward, and I'll be, when it's the right moment, I do think this is a stock to get into. 3 billion market cap, trading at $80 price range, which is a good price. Yeah, so I really like this stock. So, it could become it's already a very strong move, but it could become a future even bigger growth leader. So we'll see. But Billy, Chinese stock making new high, XMTR within 1%. MU, we talk about TPBK, still in uptrend. MTZ, HWM, again, we see aerospace defense, very strong group. A lot of analysts are talking about the aerospace defense group. ITA is the ETF. They think that as more countries are starting to build up their military, this is a very strong chart. I don't know how you think of it. This is a very strong group. But it's definitely very extended, right? But yeah, I think once we have some pullback or correction, this might be a good entry point for some of these stocks, or if you just want to invest in the ETF. Let's keep going down. We talk about TSM in the main market video, MUX, mining gold. Again, most gold stocks are not down and not up too much, so they're just kind of stuck in the range. NBT doing really well, new high. SN, Shark Ninja, still in an uptrend. Some of these stocks are starting to pull back. So ARWR, I think it reversed today. Here you go. I don't know the news, if there's news, but it was doing okay this morning and then it reversed. So it make a new high before it really shut down. Oh, a lot of health stocks get shut down, so that's probably the poorest area right now, the weakest area. I mean, REVG downtrend, CRSR downtrend, Reddit still in uptrend, Citigroup reported. So this is another stock that I'm watching because I like to watch stocks that have just reported and see how they're performing. This one is very strong. It came out and then it pretty much hold the next day and was able to continue to hit higher and higher. Again, the problem with these stocks are they're just too extended right now. I'm going to wait for a better entry point, but these are showing leadership qualities, right? And look at the earnings. Pretty strong. Sales are okay, not too high, but it's stable. So NSXT within 1%, MTSI uptrend, EXTR is coming down. App knowing is trying to break out. Let's take a quick look. Here we are. It's a nice base. Hasn't moved much. That's the biggest problem. But I mean, it couldn't get as flat as you can think. This is pretty flat, and now it's starting to come out on Thursday and Friday. It could have potential. Is what I'm trying to say. XYZ making new recent high. Twilio making new recent high. SC in uptrend. Road. So this is another bad example of a breakout right here. Came out on Thursday, Friday. Tries to go high in the morning and then it reversed pretty sharply by the end of the day. This is definitely a pretty bad bull trap here, and that's the kind of thing that could happen at this stage of the market because so many stocks are extended, and I'm seeing a lot of these actions in the last 2 weeks. That's another reason why I feel like you could trade most stocks, but maybe half of them is going to come back down right away, and your breakout will not work. And if you have tight stop like me, you'll be shaken out right away. So your chance of success is kind of lower because of this. How many of these stocks are doing that? Mosaic is doing a downtrend. S&PS doing really well. FSS downtrend. SGML the uptrend. Rambus chip area doing well. SNCY in a downtrend. Toast trying to make a move. Slab, ETN, these are all still in uptrend as reported. ARES in the uptrend, new high. Marble within 1%. GTLS, AMG both in the uptrend. MTRX in new uptrend, new highs. Dash pulling back. So one of the things that I'm trying to do is be very patient right now because, for example, this stock breakout right here make a really nice move from this bounce. This is an ugly pullback here, but anyhow, nonetheless, it kind of put. So if you can wait even until right here, so I bought it right here, and then it went sideways, and then it started moving, and then here's where I bought back after shaking out, move up a little bit more, then it started to pull back again to 10-day. I got out right here, and so far it's been pulling back slowly. But it is so yeah, and then today try to bounce again. Let's see what happened. Trying to be patient even with breakouts because like a lot of them are not working. That's the problem. AU Gold, ONC, Microsoft, XPOF, all making new recent high. Zeta in uptrend still. TT still new high. Tesla, we talked about that in main market video. ADI is in downtrend. OR gold stock within 1%. SF making new high. ITT, KD, those are kind of weaker. BZ and CFG both making new recent high. Netflix in downtrend right now. TEM in downtrend. ZLab is in downtrend. AVT ramp within 1%. As we get down lower and lower on the list, we're gonna see less and less uptrends. UAVS, ESE, just make a new recent high. RSI downtrend. USFD still in uptrend. Max API in downtrend. Charles Shaw reported today. Did really well. Yeah, let's take a look at that one. So this one will be on my. So far, most of the stocks that reported are financials, and there's a few stocks that I already mentioned earlier. So this is another one that has come out. Again, very strong earnings guidance, stable sales, very strong move. Again, very extended, but these are potential leaders in the next rally. And financials has really come back in a good way the last few weeks. So I'm gonna skip through most of them. Feel free to look at your own time. I'm just gonna read out the ones that are making news like GLW, UCTT here. I mean, you see Spotify here in downtrend. BKMVGS in the recent high. Now it's still in downtrend. Folio back in the new recent high here. HR fast. RBC here. TDG another aerospace defense. But Race Ferrari coming back up. So that actually this came on stocks on the move today. Let's take a quick look. So here we are trying to break it out right now. Holding pretty tight today. Give back not too much. Nice move so far. Again, as we go down this list, it's gonna be hard to find any good stocks in the uptrend momentum. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe. I do my live streams most in the morning. Feel free to follow that as well. And until next time. Have a good week. Bye now.